Have you ever wondered why the manipulators you hate always seem to win, while good people get stepped on? Today we will expose the ruthless truths manipulators use so you stop being a pawn and start playing the game. They call me cruel, ruthless, cunning. But let me ask you, would you rather be defeated while being good or victorious while being called evil? Today, you will learn why manipulators always win. And if you have the courage, you will stop being devoured by them. They told you that if you are good, if you are honest, if you follow the rules, the world will reward you. They lied. Let me drag you out of this comforting illusion and show you the bloodied floor beneath the golden carpets you kneel on. The world you live in is built to favor those who are cunning, those who understand the game, and those who are willing to do what you fear to even imagine. Look at those who rule your workplaces, your families, your governments. Are they the purest souls you know? Are they the kindest? Or are they those who know when to remain silent, when to speak, when to flatter, when to threaten, and when to betray without hesitation if it advances their position? Those who rise in power understand that morality is a tool, not a code to be worshipped blindly. They understand that the words good and evil are weapons others will use against you, while they themselves remain unbound by these words internally. The cunning are not controlled by feelings of guilt when they must act decisively. They do not waste nights wondering if they hurt someone's feelings when removing a threat or a competitor. They do not hesitate to feign friendship to secure loyalty, only to sever it when it becomes unprofitable. You, however, are taught to hesitate, to doubt, to check with your conscience before you act, to fear the judgment of others, to wait until it is too late to take the decisive action that could secure your position. Look around you and see who is stepping over whom. The cunning man does not break the rules publicly. He bends them quietly, in shadows, in whispers, with alliances crafted not from friendship, but from utility. He knows the timing of power, when to strike, when to stay silent, when to praise, when to remove. The honest man, the one who waits for fairness, finds himself outrun by those who are willing to act without waiting for permission. In courts, in kingdoms, in the halls of companies, it is never the kindest who rule. It is those who can smile while hiding the dagger beneath their cloak. You may believe that if you keep doing good, someday your rewards will arrive. You may buy that food, and someday your rewards will arrive. Yet, your rewards will only arrive when you understand that power requires action, not just virtue. The cunning man understands how to wear virtue as a mask while using ruthlessness as a hidden hand to clear his path. He will give charity in public to earn applause, while he negotiates in private to monopolize control. He will praise his allies while quietly gathering information to keep them in check. You think kindness alone protects you, but the world does not honor kindness if it is not tied to strength. The cunning also understands the power of fear and respect, and that it is better to be feared when love fades. They know that if they are strong and decisive, people will respect them more than they would ever respect a soft-spoken man begging for approval. They know how to control their own fear, to remain composed when others panic, to show firmness when others tremble, to remain silent when others babble their weaknesses to the world. They understand that silence, too, is a weapon. The cunning man can wait years for the right moment to act, because he knows that patience is as powerful as aggression if it is used to strike when the opponent is weakest. The world rewards the cunning, because the cunning understand how to read people, They study the desires and fears of others, learning how to position themselves so that others become dependent on them. They learn how to offer hope when needed, to deliver threats subtly when required, to make others feel important while using them for their own ends. They are not distracted by the need to be liked by everyone, and this frees them to act when those seeking universal approval are frozen by fear of rejection. The cunning see every interaction as a negotiation, every relationship as a calculation of power, every alliance as a transaction, and every promise as a tool that can be kept or broken depending on which serves their position best. You may think that power comes to those who deserve it, but power becomes to those who deserve it. The cunning know power comes to those who take it while others wait for permission. They do not pray for opportunities, they create them, and they are willing to pay the price of discomfort, risk, and ruthlessness to seize them. They do not waste time wishing the world was fair. They accept the world as it is, a place where power is taken, not given. If they need to deceive, they deceive. If they need to withdraw, they withdraw. And they need to deceive if they need to. If they need to advance, they advance. If they need to betray, they betray. Because they understand the only morality that matters in the realm of power is the morality of results. And it is the result that determines whether you rule or whether you remain ruled by others who do not hesitate while you sleep, dreaming of fairness that will never come. You believe you see the world as it is, but what you see is what others allow you to see. What you believe is often what others have crafted for you to believe. The manipulator's greatest weapon is not the sword, nor the wealth he controls, but the perception he shapes within your mind. Power is not always taken by force. The most effective power is taken by controlling how people think, by shaping the stories they tell themselves, by creating illusions so convincing that people imprison themselves willingly. The art of controlled perception begins with understanding the needs of others. People crave certainty, safety, and the illusion of control. They wish to believe that the people guiding them are virtuous, competent, and strong. So the manipulator creates that image and steps into the role they wish to see. Even if he is weak, he will speak with conviction. Even if he is fearful, he will act decisively. Even if he does not know the way, he will claim he does. For most people would rather follow a confident liar than an uncertain truth-teller. It is in the hunger for certainty that people become blind to deception, and manipulators feed this hunger until people willingly surrender their judgment in exchange for comfort. Controlled perception is the art of framing reality, of deciding which details to reveal and which to hide, of steering the conversation so that people focus on what serves your purpose. You do not need to lie loudly to control perception. You simply need to guide where people look. When you wish to distract them from your flaws, you offer them a spectacle, a drama, a scapegoat. When you wish to hide your intentions, you speak of your virtues. You speak of justice while seizing power. You speak of loyalty while preparing to betray. You speak of unity while dividing your rivals from within. You learn to use words as veils, each phrase calculated to evoke the emotions you need to keep people docile. People want to believe in stories more than they want to see reality, and so the manipulator becomes a storyteller. He understands that a leader who controls the narrative controls the direction of the masses. If people believe you are their savior, they will follow you into darkness. If they believe you are their protector, they will grant you power to oppress them in the name of security. If they believe you are their friend, they will never see the betrayal you prepare. The art of perception allows you to win without the battle, to conquer hearts before swords ever clash, to disarm enemies before they know they are disarmed. You must also learn that perception is not only about what you project, but what you conceal. A manipulator never reveals the full extent of his desires, never exposes his weaknesses to the light, never shows the depth of his strategy. He moves in silence, revealing only what advances his image. If he is weak, he cloaks himself in alliances until he is strong. If he is strong, he hides his strength until the moment to strike. He praises those he plans to remove to lull them into sleep. He agrees with rivals publicly while undermining them privately. And he cloaks ambition under the mask of service. Controlled perception is also the ability to read the fears and hopes of others. You observe what people fear, what they crave, and what they hate, and you craft your image to align with what will gain their trust. You offer them hope when they are desperate. You offer them an enemy when they need someone to blame, and you offer them validation when they feel unseen. The manipulator is like water, taking the shape of whatever container he is poured into, adapting himself to the desires of those he needs, while maintaining his own direction within. In the game of power, many believe they must constantly prove themselves with loud actions, but the manipulator knows that the quiet crafting of perception is a stronger tool. When others fear your anger, they adjust themselves to please you before you even speak. When others believe in your authority, they do not challenge your orders. When others see you as indispensable, they will protect you, defend you, and even destroy others on your behalf. The manipulator understands that the greatest victories come not from crushing the body, but from conquering the mind. For a mind conquered is a weapon turned inward against itself. A servant that needs no chains to obey. You think your emotions make you human, that they give you strength, that your compassion, your love, your fear, your anger are signs of your authenticity in a world of deception. But what you call authenticity, others see as opportunity. Understand this. Your emotions are seen by the manipulator as tools to bend you, blind you. They are levers waiting to be pulled, doors waiting to be unlocked, weaknesses waiting to be exploited by those who have trained themselves to remain cold, while you boil with feelings you cannot contain. The manipulator knows that when you are angry, you stop thinking clearly. He knows that when you are fearful, you will surrender your judgment for the illusion of safety. He knows that when you crave approval, you will lower your standards, compromise your values, and dance for praise like a puppet for its master. He knows that when you love, you will ignore the obvious, forgive the unforgivable, and protect even those who destroy you from within. Each emotion is a string, and the manipulator knows how to pull it with precision, controlling your actions while you believe you are acting from your own free will. When people are ruled by their emotions, they become predictable, and when they are predictable, they can be controlled. Anger can be provoked to cause them to act impulsively, making mistakes that can be used against them. Fear can be stoked to make them submit to authority, to accept chains disguised as protection, to obey without questioning. He then shows that such cultures have elements of God, like Saturn and Buddha, abandoning all thought of self or self-defense and omitting none. Desire can be inflamed to make them sacrifice everything for illusions, to trade their freedom for temporary pleasures, to betray themselves for validation. Guilt can be nurtured so they punish themselves without the manipulator having to lift a finger. The manipulator does not see emotions as something to be shared openly. He sees them as currents to navigate and weapons to wield. He learns to read the subtle shifts in the tone of voice, The trembling of hands, the darting of eyes, the hesitation in speech, the tension in silence. He learns to detect who fears being alone, who fears being abandoned, who desires praise, who burns with jealousy, who trembles at confrontation. Each observation is filed away for the perfect moment to apply pressure, to extract loyalty, to coerce cooperation, to provoke chaos, to guide decisions that benefit him while the target believes it was their own choice. Yet the manipulator's greatest power lies in mastering his own emotions first. You see, the one who cannot control his own anger can never control the actions of others. The one who panics in fear can never guide others through chaos. The one who panics in fear can never guide others through chaos. The one who is desperate for love and approval will always be a slave to those who withhold it. The manipulator knows this, and therefore trains himself to remain calm when insulted, patient when provoked, cold when threatened, focused when surrounded by chaos. His emotions become weapons because they are under his command, not the other way around. To control others, the manipulator often uses emotional mirroring, appearing to reflect the feelings of others to gain trust. If you are sad, he will appear compassionate. If you are angry, he will appear supportive of your rage, guiding it toward targets of his choosing. If you crave validation, he will provide it, making you dependent on him for your sense of worth. By mirroring your emotions, he becomes the one you trust most, the one you listen to, the one you obey without question because you believe he understands you. He also understands the timing of emotional manipulation. It is not always a constant barrage. It is applied like a skilled physician uses medicine, only as much as needed to achieve the desired result. A word of encouragement before asking for a favor. A moment of fear instilled before offering protection. A glance of disapproval before you begin to explain yourself to him. Surrendering your power piece by piece. The manipulator knows that emotions can open doors locked to logic, that a single well-timed emotional trigger can unravel years of rational thinking, that a single fear can outweigh 1,000 hopes. People wish to believe that being emotional is a sign of strength and honesty, but the manipulator knows it is a vulnerability. And so, while others are busy displaying their feelings, proclaiming them loudly, seeking sympathy and validation, the manipulator remains composed, observing, collecting information, pressing the right buttons at the right time, and using emotions to advance, while others drown in theirs, unable to see how they are being led down a path they never chose for themselves.